Hello, this is Jimbo, and we're at Silver Lake in Lake Park, Iowa, and this is my brother Jack. And he has an invention of his out here that we're going to show you. I've been talking to him for a while about maybe patenting this thing. I mean, there might be something out there like it, but maybe not exactly like it. So anyway, we're going to take a walk out there and we'll let you know what it is. If you look over there, there's a manifold over there with a bunch of black plastic pipes coming out of it, or tubes. So we're going to give you a close-up over here of what that is, and Jack's going to talk you through it, how he came to need it, how he came to design it, and what the outcome was.
All right, well, to kind of explain a little bit kind of what I've got here is, of course, obviously we live by a lake, got a couple of boat lifts and so forth, and I've always been the type of person that if I can do stuff myself, I prefer to do it. I hate paying people to do stuff I can do, as long as I have the time. So anyway, with the boat lifts, one of the things that you've got is around here in the Midwest, when things freeze, you got to get everything out of the water, right? So a lot of people pay people to do that. What I decided to do is I'm going to do it myself. So what I did is I got hold of 30-gallon plastic barrels. I've got 12 of them on the unit. 3 in the front corner, 3 in the back corner, and the same thing over here. And that's what all the hoses are going to, are those plastic barrels. They're permanently mounted to the lift, so I don't have to worry about adding flotation to put it in or take it out. It's there all the time. So the valves here, this is a standard valve manifold that's very common for in-floor heat. You notice some of the levers on here are different colors. We got red and we got blue. That would be hot and cold normally, but I use red for the right-hand barrels and blue for the left-hand barrels. And so what we're going to do here is we got to get this thing floating so we can tow it across the lake over to the boat ramp. And we made a trailer, frame trailer, for these units to sit on. And we will actually start with that one over there first when we take them out. And then that one we will put up on stands so I can free up the trailer, pull the trailer out from underneath of it, and then come back and get this lift over here. And then this lift will just set on the trailer over the winter so it's ready to go next fall. So what you'll see later on is when we start pumping this up, you got to be careful of the sequence in which you fill the barrels. You notice on the front of the lift there, we got the motor and gearbox. So we don't want the back to float first because that would tip down close to or into the water. And so we start with the front. We get the front up, and you want to make sure you stay even from left to right. You don't want any side variation in your lift. You want just front to back. So we'll lift up the front first. We'll get that going. Once that's floating, then we will start and work on the back and bring it up, and then it's ready to tie a rope to. Well, we'll have it tied to it ahead of time anyway, so we're not out there trying to do it while it's floating.
Do the feet ever mire into the mud where you have to get in the water to free it up, or does the air give you enough?
No, it's got probably about, I would say 14-foot pads on the bottom of it. And so there's plenty of lift there. There might be a little bit of mud on top of them, like when we pull it out of the water, but it's nothing to stick it down. It'll just start floating.
It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Gets a lot of eyes when he's got his boat going across this lake and pulling one of these across.
Yeah, I'm known as the guy that tows my lifts on the lake. Everybody else, they've got a big barge come in with a crane and they lift them and just set them on their shoreline. That's the other benefit of this, is I can get them off of my lake property. I don't have them sitting there all winter long looking ugly. I take them up to my shop area and park them up there along the highway. So,
all right, well, we will get things set up and get this baby started.
Sounds good.
Let's do this.
Like he said, he made this trailer, I think, with the help of 1 or 2 of his sons. This bar was added after the fact as an arch, and he found that he needed that to keep the boat lift centered while loading.
All right, we'll see how well the holes line up. If they don't, I gotta spin it around.
During this next segment, we decided to take our microphones off. We decided that we weren't going to take the chance of them falling in the water. So the audio will be a little bit different here, especially with the air compressor running. But I'll just go ahead and leave the volume up there because there's some things that Jack's going to say that you'll want to hear.
All right, close shot. Now they're both closed. Now the second barrels are filling up. By the time the second barrel gets filled up, it'll be probably enough to start the buoyancy process.
So do you pretty much fill one completely and then shut the valve off and go to the next?
I do 2 at a time.
Yeah.
The 2 fronts, 1 at a time. And then once I get the second ones filled up front and the front starts to come up, then I'll open up the 2 back ones too and let them start getting caught up. See, the second barrels are getting closer to getting full, so that's enough to get it to start floating. Now I'm just waiting for them to start bubbling too so I can shut those down. Alright, for now, I'm going to do the third back. Back, and the very back.
So 4 of the 6 front barrels are full, and the 5th and 6th one are filling currently. And at that same time, he's filling the first 2 rear barrels and get that back in to start lifting up.
Barrel.
I thought I heard something a little while ago that had a big old burp to it.
I heard one over there too. That's a problem. When I saw that, I noticed that my regulator had creeped up to 20. That probably caused it. Oh, you gonna publish my problems?
Big old crack.
Now I'll have a decision to make. The decision I have to make now is with the one or two injured barrels, am I going to have a problem loading it up over there?
Right.
So we'll see how this goes. the front's got to come over some. My rope has to be lined up with that center post here in front of it. Okay, so now the back is over that arc, so now you'll have to get in the truck and start to come out some. You're good. Those two middle front barrels are peeing out a lot of water.
He's saying that because, as you're going to see here in a little bit, the two of those barrels blew the top out, big old crack. I'll be showing you that in a second, but those are the barrels that slowly fill up with water while making that trek across the lake.
Pull up a little farther. And that's how you do that.
And here you see a big arc. That's where it blew out. And the reason that happened is he said he usually runs at about 10 psi, but it kind of creeped up to about 20. And so that's what popped the top or cracked the top of two of the barrels. And there's a 1/2 inch hole at the bottom, so that's where the water seeps back in once that air leaves the top of the barrel. There are 3 U-bolts that Jack puts on there to hold the boat lift steady while they go down the road. At this point in the video, I'd like to explain something. The first portion of this was filmed last spring, and that's when my brother was putting the boat lifts in. And we filmed the whole process, and his microphone did not work properly through most of it, so I wasn't able to use a bunch of that footage. So what you just saw was I came back this last fall and he was taking the boat lifts out. So when he takes the first boat lift out, it goes onto the trailer, but then he has to jack it up, take the trailer out and put it on some stands so that that boat lift sits on those stands. And then he goes back with the trailer and goes get the second boat lift, takes that out, and then they just park side by side, the second one just sitting on the trailer. So that's the way it sits there. And since I had the issue with the filming and things, the part that you're going to see right now was filmed last spring. So the process that you're going to see is him taking a boat lift off the stands and putting onto the trailer so he could put it in the water. So I don't know if it would really matter to anybody, but with editing the video, I just wanted to explain a little bit about why you might see some differences in the video. So I hope you're still watching. I hope you enjoy it. And I've really enjoyed showing something that my brother invented. That's not good.
Did you record
It's
that?
It's recording.
Is it?
I backed into that son of a gun.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, so what's your process, Jack?
Okay, so we're gonna get this next lift on the trailer. You can see I got a high lift jack here. Whenever you're using one of these, be very, very careful because they can be very, very dangerous. So you gotta move slow and steady and understand your process. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to jack up this crossbar, and Derek is going to put some pins in a hole a little higher level. And once those are in, then it'll be stable, and then we can back the trailer underneath of it because the wheels will then clear the feet of the lift. So you can see it starting to come up. Derek, you be watching the holes with those pins. And I'm not sure which one you'll see first, but it's got to be soon, I would think. You starting to see it? Okay. One more click, because sometimes going one more click works, because then you can get the base kind of off the ground a little bit, and then you can just lift it up and wiggle it a little bit. Careful. So we'll just start putting it in the hole, wiggle it. It's a tight fit. All right, good there. You don't have to put the pin in, because the weight of it's going to hold it. It's very temporary until we get the trailer underneath of it. So take a look over here and see where we're at.
Come down quite a bit.
Come down quite a bit.
Yep. Hold it there.
Okay.
You pick it up.
Lift it up like you did the other side. There you go. Okay, so now we'll continue to let it down. And you can see the weight's off of it already. All right, so now I've got to get this out of the way. Toss it back here. That board, well, that can stay. Got to move the brackets and the tools. It's heavy. Okay. Now, looks like I'm off a little bit. Yep. Can you see how well I'm lined up back there, Jimbo?
Yeah, you're gonna have to go that way
More yet?
a couple inches.
Does that look decent?
Front end that way a hair. I'm not sure if I'm seeing it the right angle, but it's close. That should be close.
I think it's pretty good.
Get your eye on it.
Yeah, I think we're pretty close.
Thank goodness.
Yep. Okay, so now what we gotta let it down now. So the jack had to be out of the way. Now I gotta get it back in there to jack it back up. And as this comes down, we'll have to bring the trailer forward a little bit, because you can see it's forward quite a ways. But we'll do that as we're kind of bringing it down. Oops.
That's where that front arched bar helps settle it in, right?
Yep. So the first thing we want to do is get those pins out now. Probably go over here first. And then we can let it settle down so it's back down to its original level height. A little tight? Okay. So now we'll go down. Actually, the angle of that bar is actually kind of forcing the trailer forward just a little bit as I come down. All right. So now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get the front. We'll have to get on this bar here so we can get this support bar and the stands out of the way.
Sure.
So let that sit there for now.
Did you fabricate this trailer?
Yes, Derek and I did. This is a modification. The first part we had, the tongue was a lot shorter, and then later I needed a little bit taller main support because we needed more length to be able to get it deep enough in the water to get it to float good.
Sure.
Without the back of the truck ended up being in the lake.
Did you fabricate these stands that you're taking out?
Yes, we made those two. Okay, so now what I got to do is I got to go just high enough that we can tip that front stand out of there. So we don't have to go too much more than level with the back. All right, Derek, you get on that side. I'll go on this side. And we'll see if we can just tip it back. See if we have enough clearance. If not, I might have to go up 1 or 2 more clicks. Okay, we're good. We're gonna make it. Then take the leg off. Take the leg off because you got to get it off. Set it to the side, and then we can drag that out. Just spin it up and then drag it out. All right. So now we're ready to come down on the trailer. I'm going to come down quite a ways, but then we're going to put those blocks on there to support it outside the trailer so that it'll support it better when we jack up and take the back stands out. It won't put excess pressure on the tongue on the front,
Sure.
More than what you'd want. Derek, you look at the side rails and see how well they're coming down into those side channels. What? Nose of the trailer slightly east. Is that good? Yeah, it almost looks like we're slightly off a little bit in the back. Although it's going to have to work because this one looks like it's on, so It's close. It'll settle. Should settle in. Right now, at this point, with the as long as the front of the channel is lined up the best, I wonder what happened, but the bar stepped off that little plate. That little movement, I wasn't expecting it. But see, as it came down, it kind of caught that plate a little bit and then slipped past it. So not a problem, it just felt a little weird.
Yeah, did we forget the blocks?
Well, we may have to put the blocks on under before we get all the way down. So let's do that. Derek, you come around, work on that one. And you put them just inside the foot of the lift. Yeah, we gotta go too high, so I gotta go up. I shouldn't have come down quite all the way.
Or you could go one high, your hand.
No, that doesn't work so well. The other thing I do is I'll bring the trailer up a little bit too, so it's closer to it. And I wish I still had my handle.
Oh yeah.
My handle's gone. Somebody stole my handle. It was there when I put it away last fall. Well, John got it. I really wanted to like to keep the trailer up like that so that front bar stays in that front channel on the trailer. Now I'll jack up a little more so we can get both blocks under there. Two clicks does it for you. Does it for me too. Okay, so we're on the blocks. The front should be stable. Do we have a piece of twine? Or you just hold that up for me. You definitely want to be centered when you're doing this. And so you can eyeball the center of the trailer. So now I'll jack up the back so we can take out these back stands, and then we will let it settle down onto the channel of the trailer. Not quite yet. Yeah, but when you swing the bottom, it raises it up a little bit too. So just one more click. Okay, now slide them out. That's fine. Okay, I'll get the other one. All right, now hold this up again, Derek. Now we go down. Like I said, go slow when you're running these high lift jacks. If you let go of this handle, it'll come out and it'll hit you in the chin, it'll knock you out.
Knock you out.
Knock you out. Kind of like that Five Finger Death Punch song. It says, Mama says, knock you out. Oh, was that a remake?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now we are settling into the channels on the trailer. All right. There's a lot of back and forth with this. But you got to take your time and do it right. Do it well, so nobody gets hurt. So now all we got to do is go high enough to get the blocks out, which it looks like is only 2 clicks and we're there. Down. We are on the trailer. Okay, now what we can do is start putting the clamps on it. Derek, if you want, you can start working on putting on the back clamps. I'll start on the front clamp. And the clamps basically just tie it down to this front channel. Make sure that won't pop out, because when you're going down the road, it's kind of a little bit top heavy. It can jump around a little bit. And so if you don't have it clamped down here, it could jump off out of that channel.
Sure.
Kind of squeaky. I should grease these up a little bit. Okay. Okay. You need this ratchet at all, Derek?
Oh, here, I'll go over and get in and try to
Okay.
straighten it on.
You can put it about 3 inches ahead of that square bracket. I got this one tight enough with my fingers.
Well, I had a little reminder. I saw these things laying off to the side. So, Jack, what is the deal with this?
These are a couple of old pontoons. They're 35-foot pontoons that I bought from a guy, and my intention was that I've started a little side business. It's going to be kind of my little retirement thing, and this was potentially going to be part of that. The original plan was that I was going to get into more in servicing boats, storing boats, and I was kind of ambitious, and I was even thinking, well, gee, I could put in docks, I could take lifts in and out, and so the intent for this was I was going to build a barge, similar to what we mentioned before when we were looking at the lifts, about companies that will come in and just move lifts in and out for people. As I got to thinking about it more and more, and the other part of the business was going well enough and keeping me busy enough, I started thinking about, as I get older in retirement, putting in docks and dealing with lifts was going to get harder and harder. So I kind of backed away from that idea, and I think it was the right move, but I still got the pontoons.
And they're steel?
They're steel.
They're heavy?
They're heavy.
Hard to move?
And I mean, yeah, exactly. And so
That's why they're still here?
well, we even bought a big 40-foot flatbed gooseneck trailer to build this barge onto, to move it around. And actually, my son and I went together on that because he was going to use it for his construction business, and I was going to use it for this, and we backed away from that. You know, there's still some thoughts of maybe someday building it into like a party barge type thing.
I wondered if you were going to mention that.
And you know,
if not, I was gonna.
You were gonna? Okay. Because being on the lake and so forth too, I mean, if you got, sometimes people like to have activities by the lake, you know, you can have, you know, weddings or whatever, and sometimes people just want to get together and just go out on the lake and enjoy themselves and so forth. So we thought about that too.
Was that your original idea or somebody else's?
Kind of somebody else's.
Kind of what I thought.
But
a very industrious young man.
yes, one of my sons. And in fact, in talking about that, he's even made comments about you and I hooking up, because you used to DJ for a long time and so forth.
20 years.
And a lot of times you got a big barge, you got people out there enjoying stuff, you had music and stuff. That he said, well, maybe you and Jim could just partner up and do a little business between you two. I said, well, I don't know how Jim would think about that, but
There's nothing I can do with audio gear that you can't do. We saw that inside of there. I don't know if we'll get into that a little bit later or not, but
you're definitely way
more
more.
Carver, some Bose, some Altec Lansing stuff going on in the sheds.
Yeah, you're definitely more social than I am. I love the equipment, I love the music and so forth, but when it comes to getting up in front of people and you know, emceeing, doing stuff like that, you're way better at it than I am. So that was the reason for the partnering up idea.
Actually, you say and ah a lot less than I do.
Okay.
Anybody that watches my videos would know that. So anyway, yeah, we saw this off to the side, so I wanted to get a little bit of information on what this is and what the possible future is. Maybe just going down the road if somebody else buys them. So
Possibly.
we'll see.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep.
This is some footage that I took last spring. You can see the barrels are a little more white after a long winter, but this is just to show you a little bit about how the thing was put together. So feel free to just take a look if you're interested.
I gotta find that pad that I put down here, that little cement pad.
How big is the pad you're looking for?
It's like 18-inch square, I think.
Okay.
I might not be able to find it either. But several years back, it was sitting a little crooked. So I put a little cement pad under where the pad falls, or for the lift. Oh, nope, that was a rock. If the bottom of the lake was perfectly level, I wouldn't have to worry about this, but oh, wait a minute, there we go.
We can't go too much farther forward.
Okay, so it's right there. Okay, so about right there. Okay, so I got it. So if you look in the water, you can see the foot pad down there.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, the red is what barrels on the right, the blue is barrels on the left, and I want the back to go down first. So I'm going to do the back left and right, and I got to open this valve so that the air will release. And then you can hear it gurgling a little bit. That's the water starting to come in the barrels out of that little 1/2-inch hole that I put in the bottom. I could have put a little bigger hole. I might make it bigger someday, but
You don't want this process fast anyway.
no, it's you want it to settle exactly where you want it. So you don't want it to go down quick. You want to take your time. And the reason I went with the 2 back barrels first, so I want to make sure that the back goes down first, because in the front I got my motor and the gear drive, and you want to make sure that stays up in the water, because if the front goes down first, that could dip down in the water a little bit.
Yeah, because it sticks out there a ways.
Want to hear the gurgle?
Sure, why not?
And after I let the first 2 fill for a little while, sometimes what I'll do is I'll crack the next 2 from the back, and then crack the back ones on the front, so that the back doesn't get too far ahead of the front. It's just, and you want to make sure you're even from side to side. You don't ever want to do your valves where you get too low on one side, because you see how long it is. If you get it too low and it starts going down, the thing could flip right over on its side. So you want to work it from the front to the back. And we want the barrels up under the dock for a little ways, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and open 2 more in the back, because I feel good about where we're at, and it's okay for that bottom to settle just a little bit quicker. You plan on coming back and filming in the fall when we pump it up and take it out of here?
Might.
Okay. You can see the back starting to get lower. So I'm gonna start doing the back 2 on both sides on the front. So that would be this one and this one. That way the back doesn't get too far ahead of the front.
How long does it usually take to get the thing fully settled?
I've never really timed it or kept track. It's
Could
just,
be 45 minutes.
yeah. You know, and actually if I wanted it to drop a little bit faster than what it does now, I just drill those holes in the bottom a little bit more, and then the water will come in a little bit faster.
Sure.
Which I might do that.
Well, you're used to it now.
Yeah.
After all the, how many years you been using it this way, do you think?
Oh, probably about 12 years.
Yeah.
Because as soon as we bought the property and started building the lake house, I didn't waste any time. I got myself a dock, I got myself lifts, and I wanted to get on the water even before the house was done.
Right.
Let it settle. You're good. You're good.
The accent is touching.
Yep. You just want to, as soon as it goes down and touches the bottom, you just want to make sure you're in the position you want to be in, because it don't take too long. Once it first hits, the water keeps coming in, and then it gets heavier, and then you can't shift it. So, being that back is down now, I'm gonna open all 3 of the back, because they're down enough and they've settled. And then I'll give just a little bit more time here, because I got the back 2 and the front already open, so they're already starting to take water into them. And once I give it a little time, so that's a little more weight on the back and settled, then I'll just open the rest of the front valves and let it go.
Pretty slick.
I mean, for this process, I need one other person for a driver, for trailer and backing and forth and stuff like that. And as you can tell from earlier, it's nice to have another person here when you're trying to get to the dock.
Especially when you drop the rope.
Yep, I dropped the rope. All right, now I'm just going to open everything in the front, and now you can see everything's open now. And so now all we got to do is just wait for the front to settle. And it's pretty stabilized left to right already, because we've got enough weight on the back now that it's not going to shift in and out very much. It's just a matter of letting it come down. There we go. See, we're going down. So it doesn't take too long.
No. That is pretty cool. So I'll be interested, I don't know how many people will see this, but I'd be interested to see if anybody makes a comment if they've seen anything like this before. You were saying there's commercial airbags that you can buy.
Yeah.
They go across the front and across the back.
Yeah, your bottom bars on across the framework. You know, it's kind of like a long rectangular bag that kind of floats up around either side of it. Like a hot dog bun.
Yeah.
That's a good description.
But
Derek.
It's basically one bladder in front and one
bladder in the back.
So if you have an issue,
and they're big enough that you can get the flotation you need. But
right.
you know, then you're messing with those things. You're messing with trying to put them on, and then you got to get them off, and you got to take them out. This is permanent on the rig and ready to go.
If you have trouble with one bladder, you have trouble.
Exactly.
Serious trouble.
If I have trouble with one barrel, I'd probably be okay yet.
Yep. So the front's touching, you think?
Oh yeah, it's down. See, I can get out and walk on it now. In fact, I need to get my rope off here. Oh Lord, don't let me fall in on video. Usually what I do is I just come out here and I try to get it loose enough that I can get it over there. Because I don't want to bend over and try and balance on this bar. I'll get there. I'm not in a hurry.
There's an old phrase that says it's hard to push a rope. This is a little different, but similar.
Similar. I can feel it. Now it's close enough that I can have something to hang on to and get a hold of it. And then just pull it through.
Pretty slick. Thank you, Jack.
You're welcome.
So what are your final thoughts as far as saving money, cost, labor, safety? What's your thoughts on this whole deal?
Well, you know, I'll see how long I have the stamina and the courage to do this kind of stuff. As I get older, things might change. I might start spending money to have people do a little bit more for me, but I'm not there yet, and I won't be there for a while.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, thanks a lot. We're not going to watch this one go across the lake. It's just rinse and repeat on that process that we already showed. So, yeah, I've been wanting to film this for quite a while. So, thanks a lot, Jack.
You're welcome.
All right. See ya.
Yep. Bye.
Oh, let me do it again. Oh, I can't clap with a dang. There you go. There's an outtake.
Yeah.
on.